Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you ever wanted to learn how you can get approved for credit cards with no credit check, you want to tune into this video.
Da 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 da. Da da da.
All right, y'all, so let's dive right in. I'm about to show you some ways that you can get approved for a credit card. I'm gonna show you 3 different ways you can get approved for a credit card without a credit check, because I think a lot of people need to know this, including my homeboy that kind of made me want to do this video. So quick story time before I even get into it. Just give me 2 minutes. So we were sitting around, we was chilling, and he was like, "Hey, E, how you get inquiries off of a credit report?" I was like, "Oh man, I kind of went through the story, how you do it, the steps and everything." And I was like, "Yeah, what inquiries you got on there, bro?" He was like, "Man, I got like 30 something inquiries, man." I was like, "All right, yeah, what are they though?" He was like, "Man, they from credit cards." I was like, "Credit cards?" I was like, "What you be doing, man?" He was like, "Man, I just be applying for them. I just do it, man. I just see if I get it." I was like, "Bro, you gotta stop doing that, man." I was like, "You ain't gonna get it that way." Man, he said the most profoundly stupid thing I think I've heard this year. He said, and he said it wise. So he said, he said, "In life, you gonna miss 100% of the shots that you don't take." I said, "Bro, that's a terrible idea." I was like, "That's cool." The quote sounded all right, but man, that don't apply to credit cards, man. Cause, in the credit world, you're going to miss 100% of the shots that you take at American Express if you got a 500 credit score. So, that was the end of that conversation. And that brings me to this, the method that we're going to talk about today of how you can kind of go around, applying and just, shooting your shot at all these different credit card companies, not knowing if you're going to get approved. So the first way that we're going to do this is we are going to start getting pre-approved for credit cards before we even apply for them. So the way this works, and a lot of credit card companies do this now, you're able to do what's called the soft pull towards your credit that does not do an actual credit check, like a hard credit check that damages your score. Is going to basically look into your profile, and then it's going to give you some offers on whether or not you can get approved for the credit card before you apply for it. And I know I said no credit checks, but this one, you do a credit check once you actually find the card that is telling you that you would get approved for. But still, it's only one inquiry at that point. And once you go through the pre-approval process, at that point, you are pretty much almost guaranteed to be approved. I've seen a few instances where, you might not get approved, but the odds are in your favor. I use this strategy all the time. Some of the ones you can do this with are Capital One, American Express. You can do this with Bank of America. You can do this with Navy Federal. And what it looks like is you put in your information, and then what they're going to do, they're going to spit out some different credit card options. And this will give you an example right here. This is one of my clients that I took through this with Capital One. And I told them, "Hey, just enter your information in. Let's see what it says." And it actually spit out 2 different credit cards for him to try for. And these both were unsecured credit cards. He didn't have to put up any deposit. And he said, "Okay, yeah, it's saying these 2. So what do I do?" I said, "Hey, go ahead and apply for it. Let's see what happens." And this is what ended up happening for him. He ended up getting approved for a credit card with a $300 limit. I was really happy for him, because I know with Capital One, even though you start at a $300 credit limit, you can build that 300 up to 500 in about half a year. That 500 can go to 1,000. That 1,000 can go to 1,500. And then you're building up your credit limit. So then when you go to apply for other credit cards, you're in a way better position of getting another higher limit credit card. So, and again, you can do this with Credit One, Capital One, American Express, Bank of America. I'm gonna drop some links in the video notes so that you can be able to easily go to it. But for most of these, a lot of these different companies are doing this now, so you can really just Google, pre-approval for whatever card that you're going after. Definitely do it this way, because this is the way that's going to ensure that you're, pretty likely to get approved. I mean, think of it like this. Like, if you're a guy and you see a woman and, you want to walk up and shoot your shot, wouldn't you feel a whole lot better if you, had some kind of metric that told you, oh, there's a 90% chance that she's going to give you her number. Oh, you walking right over now. You ain't wasting no time. But if you just shooting in the dark, you have no idea. You're probably going to be just kind of wasting time, getting embarrassed, hurting your pride. But in the credit, world, it's hurting your credit, because every time you're applying for a credit card that is not approving you, you're taking like a 3-point hit to your credit score every time. 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. I know that doesn't sound like a lot on the front end, but when you keep adding up those 3-point inquiries, you can do some serious damage to your credit profile. So that's number one. We're going to start getting pre-approved before we actually apply for a credit card. All right. And so the number 2 way that you can get approved for a credit card with no credit check is to go after a cash flow based credit card. So what that means is this credit card is not concerned about your credit at all. They're concerned about your cash flow. So what you'll be doing is you would sign in to the system. And my favorite one is Grain. This is the one that I refer all of my clients, friends, family, everybody to. And you would sign in to their, the membership. You would create an account, and then they're going to link your bank account to the app. And then they're going to scan, they're going to see how you're managing your money. They're going to see, are you getting weekly paychecks, bi-weekly paychecks? They're just trying to make sure that you have cash coming in so that you can cover the credit limit that they're going to give you. And I always like to use real examples. So here's one of the guys that I work with. I got him to do it. They gave him $1,000 limit that you see right here. And then here's another guy that I got to do it, and they approved him as well. And I mean, these guys they're working jobs. I mean, they ain't making, crazy money. I mean, they're doing well for themselves. But I've had people get this that make as little as, 25, 30,000 a year, all the way up to, the big income land up there. But, cause even people with, large income still struggle with credit. So income isn't always a determining factor of, whether you're going to have good credit or not. But, does help, but you kind of got to have that accountability piece too. But yeah, getting off track. The main thing is go after a cash flow based credit card. Then you don't have to have your credit pulled into it. It scans your bank account and it makes a decision based off that. Grain is pretty generous. They'll give you all the way up to a $1,000 credit limit, which is pretty good, because a lot of times starting out, credit card companies aren't exactly willing to give you more than like a $300 limit to start with, because they don't really know much about you. You don't have much credit, so they don't have much to go after. So definitely try Grain. And unfortunately, it's just for iPhone users. So if you got an Android, don't be unsubscribing on me or nothing like that. Just come back next week. I have some more advice for you. But this is strictly for iPhone users. Probably should have led with that, but hey, like I say, don't be mad at me. Just go get an iPhone. Shouldn't have an Android anyway. So, all right, y'all. So we are now on way number 3, and it's number 3 for a reason. It's not my favorite one, simply because I don't want to be having to put up no money. But it starts with a SUH and ends with a secured cards. So there are secured cards that check credit, but I do have some that do not check credit that I have researched over the years, and I'm just going to provide my favorite one in the video notes for you. And with this one, you can put up a $200 deposit, and they don't do any credit check whatsoever. You just have to hit like the minimum income requirements. I think it might be somewhere around like $1,400 a month or something like that. As long as you make that, usually you're going to get approved for the card, and it's no credit check whatsoever. So I'm going to put this one in the comments. And if you don't have any credit whatsoever, it is a great starter credit card to use to kickstart your credit profile. Even if you do have credit, but you don't have the credit card aspect of credit, because I run into a lot of people that they just have installment accounts, student loans, car notes, things like that, but you don't have a credit card and you can't get approved in the other ways that I mentioned. This is a way that you can, revert to as well. But I definitely would do each way in the order of the video. Check, to see if you have any offers first that can be unsecured cards. Then, go after the cash flow based credit card if you need to do that, and then make this your last resort. If you don't get the first two, you can go after a secured card just to get something reporting, because at the end of the day, whether you got to do secured, unsecured, you just need this category working for you, because you get 165 points in this category by maxing it out. Not your card, let me rephrase that, by doing a great job in this category and not maxing your credit card out. That was a terrible word choice. But you get the most points in that category. Paying the credit card on time, keeping your balance low, doing all those good things. That's how you get all 165 of those points. So definitely get going on that. And I hope this video has helped you. I am always looking for new video ideas, so if you think of one, drop it in the comments. I'll definitely do a video on it. And again, Android users, I apologize. I did not mean that personally. So if I see my subscriber count drop, y'all know y'all wrong for that. So come back next week. I'm gonna have a new video for y'all. So, but anyway, peace out. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. Remember, subscribe, and until next time, peace.